Hey folks, my name's Janene. Welcome to my studio. So right now where I am, it is currently cold and snowy, and I thought in that spirit I would do a tutorial about ice. I am in the process of painting a Chaos Space Marine army that has a fire and ice theme, and it turns out that ice is kind of a pain in the butt. But I also stumbled across a pretty cool technique to create icicles when I was doing swamp bases actually. And it's super quick, super simple, and I'm excited to show you guys. The main thing that we're going to use for this technique is some Woodland Scenics water effects. This stuff is awesome. I bought this at a train store. You can also buy it at a hobby store or online. A little bit of parchment paper or wax paper, or even a flat piece of plastic card, anything that's not going to shred, and then a tool to apply it. So I know I said in the intro that this is a quick technique, and it is quick in terms of manpower, though it does take a little bit of prep work, and the water effects takes about 24 hours to dry. So in that spirit, I'm going to show you how to apply it to a miniature, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's dried. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your parchment paper and you're going to create little streaks. When the water effects is still wet, it looks a lot like Elmer's glue, and it kind of acts that way too. But as you're going to see later, this stuff dries almost completely clear. Alright, so you're just going to squeeze out little lines like that. You can do them varying lengths. I like to create some that have a bigger top and then narrow towards the bottom. And the nice thing about this technique is that while it's wet, you can actually sculpt it a little bit and kind of play around with it. These are some icicles that I created a couple hours ago. You can see that they're starting to stiffen, even though they're not completely dry. But this will mean that we can work with them. They're not just going to turn into a puddle. So the miniature I'm going to apply these to, as you can see, I've got, fire and ice theme going on. I'm going to take this, I'm going to kind of find what size I like. Chop it off, kind of get our desired length, and then I'm going to take some of this wet water effects and I'm going to use it like glue to stick on the stuff that's already dry. So I'm going to make a nice long icicle. There we go, and then I'm going to apply some more water effects around it to kind of blend it in. I'm going to use this wet stuff and create some shorter icicles, so I'm just going to dab it and kind of pull it down. Now, since this is going to dry completely clear, you're going to notice it more if you have it hanging in open air versus if you have it over the armor. So this part that's on top of his armor is going to kind of fade in. You're going to see it a little bit because it's going to have a glimmer. The sections where it's really going to be noticeable are these hanging sections, and that's what's going to be really eye-catching. Let's do another long icicle. Cut off the section I want. So there you go. You can do as many icicles as you want or as few. This technique also would work great on a base if you have like a ledge that's overhanging so it can hang down. Let me show you what it looks like once it's dry. Here's another Chaos Space Marine I did. You can see it's hanging off of his wire there. There's also some on his scythe and a few smaller ones up front. Another thing that I love about this technique versus some of the others that I've seen is that the icicles that are created have really natural ridges and bumps, and they look like real icicles. If you see icicles hanging off of your roof, they aren't completely straight and they aren't completely spiky. They have these very natural shapes and curves and flows to them. This is an Eldar Wraith Knight that I've been testing a few different color schemes on. So right now he looks a little bit crazy, but you can see the ice arm that I tested out. And this was cool because I got to do some really big icicles on it. Another thing when you're doing this technique is that you want to be aware of gravity. So you want to make sure that you've got your icicles going straight down so they look realistic. Pretty basic technique, but I think that the result looks really awesome and really makes a miniature stand out on the table. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to visit me at pixiesandpistols.com to see more of my work and to check me out on social media. Bye.